We are less than a month away from Marvel's last chance in 2025. We've seen failure after failure. They thought this is going to be their comeback year. 3 movies releasing at the box office. And so far, we've had Captain America: Brave New World, which has flopped horrifically, and Thunderbolts, which has flopped horrifically. Now, this is it. This is the last chance for the MCU in 2025 at the box office. And a lot of it's riding on the shoulders of Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal, who was cast as Reed Richards. And they're going all out in the promotion for this movie. They know everything's on the line. They open up ticket sales way earlier than expected. And now Pedro Pascal is finally speaking out about a lot of the backlash that he specifically received after he was cast. And I'm going to be honest, I think he was most deserving of the criticism for his casting. Not talking about his performance as an actor or anything like that, and not even talking about the political stuff, which I'm sure I'll talk about in a second, but just in terms of him, were people able to view Pedro Pascal as embodying Reed Richards? I think he, more than any of the other characters that were cast, obviously, thing is going to be a lot of CGI, is a big rock, all this stuff, right? I think he was the one who didn't really fit what most people's vision of the character would be. And I think it was deserved. And he's opened up a little bit about some of that hate, the fact that so many people hated his casting. Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal opens up on MCU, Reed Richards backlash. And we did have an article about this in Deadline as well. And I want to go through some of his quotes. Pedro Pascal's everywhere, right? And I am sick and tired of Pedro Pascal, personally. I'm sick and tired of seeing him. I do think he's a fine actor and plays some roles pretty well, but I also think we've seen too much of him in too short of amount of time at this point. And the idea that he's not really the face of Star Wars because he's wearing a helmet, but he's got Mandalorian and Grogu coming out and Fantastic Four within a year of each other. And he's supposed to be a huge focal point for the MCU going forward. And this is what he had to say. I'm more aware of disgruntlement around my casting than anything I've ever done, Pascal said about playing Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Fantastic Four: First Steps, arriving in theaters next month. Pascal said the regular complaints he hears are as follows. He's too old. He's not right. He needs to shave. And I don't see that casting as Reed Richards. I didn't from the moment it happened. And honestly, I don't think Marvel really did either. If you remember, it took them longer to cast Reed Richards than everybody else because so many people that they offered the job to turned it down, didn't want to fucking do it, said no, walked away. And they were left with Pedro Pascal. I mean, we heard a lot of names connected to this, right? Matt Smith, Adam Driver, Christopher Abbott, Jamie Dornan, and Jake Gyllenhaal were all talked about and people potentially that Marvel wanted before they finally had to settle for Pedro Pascal. That's what happened. So I do think it makes a lot of sense that people don't think he looks like the character. And when you are looking at Pedro Pascal and betting so much of your future, because Fantastic Four is going to be huge, Reed Richards is going to be huge for the future of the MCU, you're betting a lot on somebody who's never shown any type of box office pull at all. And I'm not just saying that, it's just a reality. The highest grossing thing Pedro Pascal's ever been involved in is Gladiator 2, which was a massive financial failure on the follow-up to a film that did incredibly well, right? He was basically the co-lead in that, right? Not the lead, he was like the co-lead in that. Other than that, I mean, he had a small role in Kingsman. He had a small role in The Great Wall, right? He did Think the Fox in a voice acting for an animated movie. He was Dave York in Equalizer 2. And then the only other thing he really had a big role in that made that made a decent amount of money was Wonder Woman 1984. The problem is that decent amount of money, $169 million, was a complete and total financial failure. That movie cost over $200 million to make. It was a fucking disgrace for DC. Now, do I blame Pedro Pascal for that? No, I think the movie was a massive pile of shit. I didn't love the way he played Maxwell Lord, but I don't blame him. But you are dedicating a lot of faith to somebody who, when it comes to the box office, has never shown in his history that he's some kind of box office pull. And when you combine that with his political talking points that he's constantly spouting that do turn a lot of people off. When he continues to go after people, J.K. Rowling, he just went after again the other day. He won't shut up about that stuff. He is an activist first. And he certainly has a small little hardcore rabid fan base that are kind of fucking freaks, if we're just being honest. But he will wade into every single controversial talking point he could possibly imagine at any given time. When you factor in all of these things for a movie and a franchise that needs to do really well, if this doesn't hit, and I mean hit hard for Marvel, if this is something that rolls in there like 550, 600, 650 million dollars, it is going to be a massive fucking disappointment for them. And really, they have no one but themselves to blame. You're dedicating a lot to Pedro Pascal in the future of the MCU. And I, for one, I'm sick of seeing this motherfucker.